welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. So I tried to do a thing with my hair. Not sure if it's really working for me, but nevertheless, here we are. So we're just gonna yeah. Okay, yes. Try to do like a little Princess Jasmine type deal. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Colourpop's new eyeshadow palette. I mean, when do they never not have a new eyeshadow palette? But I digress. But the palette I'm going to be talking about is their Off Melrose palette. Now, I don't talk about Colourpop a ton on my channel, mainly because I've tried so many of their palettes and I've liked so many of their palettes that I'm kind of just like, well, I'm going to talk about it when I know I like it. And it's just going to be like, here's another Colourpop palette that I like. So it's just, I don't know. I feel like after a while it's just going to be redundant and it's like, just talk about something else. But again, I digress. So the reason why I chose to talk about this palette today is, I'm going to be honest, it's not their most unique palette in the world. It's nothing we haven't seen before from them. It's kind of what they've been gravitating to as of late. You know, their brown color story, you know, ooh, you know, nothing really super special. But the reason why I did want to talk about this palette today is because, you know what, yeah, we've seen this color story from a million times, but maybe this is something special, or maybe you're thinking about buying this palette and then you're like, oh, this is just like so many others I have. So I just kind of wanted to see, is the color story alone worth it enough for you to pick up the palette, or is it a pass? So let's talk about the palette. So it looks just like this. Like, look at that cute packaging. It has a palm tree. It's very like California-esque. I mean, that's how they get you, right? With cute packaging. When I heard that the name of this palette was called Off Melrose, oh gosh, I can't talk. When I heard that the name of this palette was called Off Melrose, I know for me, I was drawn in and I was like, ooh, a fun summer California palette. But this palette retails for $18 and you can get it, little plastic sheet just fell out. You can get it on Ulta's website. And I'm sure within time, Colourpop will have this on their website as well, because that's what they usually do. They either start out releasing something on Colourpop's website and then it makes its way over to Ulta's website, or they start out releasing something on Ulta's website and then it makes its way over to Colourpop's website. So I'm sure within time, it will be on Colourpop's website, if it's not already. So we have 12 shades in this palette. So 12 shades for $18. It's kind of the standard Colourpop pricing. Like, usually their 12 pans are somewhere between $16 and $18. Their 9 pans are usually around $9. Their 9 pans are usually around $12. So it's pretty, you know, anything under $20 I think is pretty affordable, especially since Colourpop has such good quality. And it looks like out of those 12 shades, you get 3 colors that are matte. So right here, here, and there. And I think those are really good choices to have for matte colors, because those can all easily go in your crease as transition shades. So those are the kind of colors you want to see for matte. And then we also have this shade right here and this shade right here as sequin colors, which have like the faintest sparkle in them, which honestly you could probably pass off as matte as well. And then we just have this one pressed glitter shade, which is right over here. I know that people are up the wall at this point with Colourpop putting a pressed glitter in every single palette, but I personally like it. I love me pressed glitters, but I totally get why some people don't like it, because you can't technically, kind of can put it on the eyes, but you're not really supposed to. So for some people, it just seems like a waste of a shade space, like put something else in there. For me, I don't mind it because I'm a little rebel and I like to put the glitter on my eye. And then just the rest of them are going to be like metallic formulas. So it looks like you do get some pretty colors in here. Like, I gotta say, this gold shade up here kind of calls to me. So I gotta say, out of all their like brown neutral palettes that they have, this one calls to me a bit more than the others, because you do have some shades that are not straight brown. You have this Dusty Rose shade right here. You got this shade which has like an undertone of pink to it. You got a couple of gold shades which are in the brown family. But you have this like purple shade right here. So I think it's fun. So I'm gonna pull you in. We're gonna do a look. I have to think about what I want to do. I'm gonna try to use some of the more unique shades in this palette. So yes. That is what we shall do. Okay, so I actually like the fact that they have the shade names not only on the front, but the back as well. I think that's kind of cool. So obviously you don't get a mirror in this palette, which that's okay. I don't always mind that. So let's see, the first shade I'm gonna go in with, I'm gonna take On the List, and I'm just gonna work that into the crease. I used to be obsessed with this shade. Like, I wanted it so badly. BH Cosmetics actually had a Carly Bible palette, and I picked that up, and then they re-released the palette, and I bought the re-release version because they had a shade kind of like this in the palette, and I hadn't really seen that before, and I wanted it so bad. So that's what I did. Okay, this shade's actually a little bit patchy. So for shame, Colourpop, for shame. I don't know. I'm finding that I'm not really super liking this color anymore anyways. Okay, blending that out. Ooh, it does blend out really nicely though. Okay, not bad. I think so far it matches a lipstick. At least I think so. That was a hideous face. It was like buck teeth in that. So next I'm going to take $10 Latte, which is actually a sparkly shade, but again, I'm using it as a matte shade. And I'm just going to put it on my brush, swatch it on my hand, show you the color because that's actually not the color I meant to pick up. I'm going in with Down to Earth, like Earth spelled U-R-T-H. I think it's actually named after that restaurant. Okay, so that's going in the outer corner. I feel like this color is not as deep as it looks in the pan. Again, just blends out really nicely. Okay, so that color blends really nicely. And there's virtually zero fallout on my face, so that's really nice. All right, next I'm going in with Fairfax, I think, which is just that purple shade right there. Ooh. Gonna put that on the lid. Feels like it's one of like their super shock shadow shades. So I gotta be honest, like a lot of people hate when they put the pressed glitter in the palette, but I hate when they do the super shock ones. Like I like super shock shadow, but for me, ugh, I hate it when they put it in their pan. Cause it's just, I don't know. I just find it annoying because it's hard to apply with the brush. And it's like, ugh. Okay, I mean you can build this up. I don't know if you can see that. Definitely on the lid it looks more green than purple. I feel like I'm going to go in with Trade and Post, that pinky color. I was going to put that as my highlight, but I think I'm going to go in and put that in the corner a little bit. Okay. I just really wanted to amp up that shade that I had going on. So yeah, I mean, okay. So the same thing with this shade as I found with this shade. It's much lighter than it looks in the pan. And it's definitely more green than purple. But it's still pretty, but it's more subtle. More subtle. Okay, so very pretty, very pretty. So now I'm just going to take what the heck? Angelino? I don't know. I can't say words ever. So I'm going to take that shade and use that as my highlight. Originally, like I said, I was going to use the pink shade. But now, using something else. Just to use as much color as I can. Okay. Okay, still not much fallout except for that purple Super Shock shade. Gave me a little bit of fallout. Probably shouldn't be, whatever. Alright, so, and then just to top off my look, I think I'm going to take, oh, I don't know, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to take Brunch and just kind of line the lower lash line. Oh, okay. That shade is super powdery. So, going nice and easy. Okay, you know what? Screw it. Let's go for the gold shade. We're going to take it again. Yes. I probably should not have put that rosy gold shade under the lower lash line because it kind of just looks like the rim of my eyes are super red now. But there you have it. There's the final look. I have to be honest, when I first saw this palette, I was like, oh, here we go again, another brown palette from Colourpop. But when I actually really started looking at it and thinking of the look I wanted to do, I realized that it's not as neutral as I originally thought. And I kind of had a hard time deciding which colors I wanted to use because quite a few of them caught my eye. I'm like, ooh, I want to use that one and that one and that one and that one and that one. So I actually liked quite a bit of them. So yeah, I guess I'm going to say if you're interested in this palette, I would maybe pick it up because it is slightly different. Slightly, because it is slightly different than the other palettes that they do have. Like, I'm sure you could easily dupe all these colors from their other palettes, but to have it as a whole in one palette, I think it's just very convenient. And I can look at this and I can think of quite a few looks that I would want to do with this palette, and I think they would all look decently different from each other. Like, I think you can go very dark and grungy up here if you wanted to. You could go more light and angelic, or you could just go like straight in the middle neutral. So I think you do have options, and you can definitely jazz it up, make it glittery, or you can, you know, tone it down. So yeah, I don't know. I like this palette. I was actually pleasantly surprised. So in my opinion, I think it's worth it. So I swatched some of these shades, and two things I want to know. One, the swatches, yeah, you can't really see it. The swatches do not do this palette justice. I swear it is so beautiful. Like, there's like zero fallout, and the colors just blend so nicely together, and I could just go on and on and on and on about Colourpop. The second thing I noticed, like some of these shadows, like I don't know, I think that one, whatever, some of them just felt so nice and creamy. I'm like, what is this made of? This isn't straight powder. But it didn't quite feel like the Super Shock, but it kind of did. But it didn't apply like a Super Shock. I don't know. I heart this palette. I can't wait to use it again. I'm so pleased with the look I came up with it. So I could just, you know what, I'm not, honestly, you know my channel, you've seen my channel, you know I'm not big into the neutrals, you know I love color. And for me, a color girl, to be raving about like just another neutral palette, I think it's a pretty big deal. So yes, I do think that this palette is something special. So go get you some of this palette. Okay, all right, good. Glad that's settled. Alright, so if you stayed to the end of the video, then you get to see me ruin my look with this glitter shade right here. Or not, who knows? Oh, look how pretty that is. Alright, let's swatch it on the hand. It looks just like that. Ooh, it looks wet. Look at that. Jeez. Alright. Oh, so pretty. I actually quite like the Colourpop pressed glitter shades because I feel like you can, Because I feel like when you place them down on your lid, you have a little bit of a wiggle room to move them around. Like, I tried a BH Cosmetics pressed glitter, and bless their soul, it was crazy pigmented. But when that puppy was down, it was not going anywhere at all. And I was like, ah. So I was a little frustrated to manipulate it on the lid. But this seems like I really don't have too much of an issue. So pretty. So I gotta know, in the comments below, tell me who here likes the pressed glitters from Colourpop. And who here is like, nope, do away with it, be gone. Alright, I don't know if you can see that. It looks super subtle. I know it's maybe on the camera, it's like blinded. Oh, there you have it. There's my review. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because I like makeup, and if you're watching this video then I assume that you like makeup too, so we can like makeup together and bond. Okay, bye.